I'll try to tie it in to this other subject we're discussing, which is the Christian nationalist movement and the assault on democracy and our form of government, our individual liberties, all the things that are hanging in the balance there. They're not just fighting about that. They are also at war with science and with anything that threatens their very narrow and brittle worldview that is all about the Bible. You asked earlier about, my unusual step of coming out as a humanist, as a public non-believer in 2017. Part of the moral reckoning that led me to do that was one of the people that Trump platformed was he made a guy named Scott Pruitt head of the EPA. And Pruitt, of course, is one of these true believer Christian nationalists. He justified these massive rollbacks of environmental protections, these huge giveaways to corporate polluters, by citing the book of Genesis and the fact that God told Adam and Eve to, take dominion over the earth and that he would take care of it from there. So I think many of these hardcore Christian nationalists continue to act upon that biblical mandate as they see it, the belief that this is all theirs, that their biblical command is to use it, exploit it, consume it, and that God will make sure nothing bad happens as a result of that. So this is dangerous stuff in the 21st century. If you believe that all of this pollution and consumption and carbonization of our atmosphere, if you believe it's all going to be fine because God controls the sun, as one of my Republican colleagues, Mary Miller, said famously in an interview, she was asked about solar power and whether it was in conflict with God's plan. And she said, yes, it is, because this is all a hoax. God controls the sun and the sun controls the weather. This is her, sophisticated analysis. And therefore, the climate and everything is going to be just fine. People in the United States Congress say these things and act on these incredibly wrong-headed beliefs. And in this day and age, the fight is about more than just democracy. The fight is about our ability to live on this planet. These institutions of learning and science and research that they are attacking right now, we're counting on them to help us get through the next disease or pandemic, and certainly the climate crisis. So I do see linkage between these parallel fights.
The stupidity is willful, right? It is you have to want to be that ignorant. You really do, and to sort of bend yourself in pretzels to connect those weird dots, right? That God controls the sun, so solar power is. We're going into a huge El Nino year.
Yeah.
And I think, the climate's going to get really wonky. The weather's going to be strange all over the world. And I fear that they're going to say it's not climate change because it's an El Nino year. It's just God's normal cycle.
Well, that's what they'll say. But first they tried to get rid of the ocean buoy monitoring system.
Right.
And first they tried to gut NOAA scientists and all the, so it's just remarkably dangerous. And it's not unlike the way religious extremists actually, back to the time of our founding, opposed Ben Franklin's invention of the lightning rod. They thought it was an interruption of God's plan, that the arrogance and the hubris of humans thinking that they could intervene and stop God's plans, and their preferred method, of course, of protecting churches from lightning strikes, because the lightning rod was invented to protect places like churches, was to keep sending, people up into these bell towers to sprinkle holy water and ring bells. And it got many of them killed. But this is the stubbornness and frankly, the break from rationality that we are challenged with in this moment.